Having people help you out, help you, figure things out that you don't know, that they may have already been through, can be very beneficial, of course, because they can help, skip the long process, what could be a long process of, figuring something out. Being if they've done it before, they could potentially, help save you time, money, mistakes. But it's also beneficial to not have people help you out. And, when you need help from somebody and they don't help you out, in the midst of it, it can be very frustrating. You could end up resenting that person for not helping you out. Why didn't you help me out? You've done this before, you know how to do this, or at least you could have, helped me somehow, and you weren't even there to help me. It's a very hard thing to not have resentment towards people when they don't help you out. But the plus side to not having somebody help you out and you having to figure it out yourself is, one, you become more self-sufficient because you didn't need somebody's help. You were able to figure it out by yourself, which, it could be pain that you had to go through, loss of money, headache, stress. But, again, being able to figure that stuff out yourself and knowing that you have the capability to figure stuff out by yourself is going to help you along down the road. You're going to be more confident when taking on, other things you don't know how to do, other challenges, obstacles, and, you'll try to figure things out yourself before you reach out for help, which again, help is great. Everybody needs help, but if somebody doesn't help you out, I know it's hard not to resent them, but the reality of it is, you're going to feel a lot more fulfilled, and you're kind of going to want to shove it in that person's face. You didn't want to help me, but, I was able to figure it out myself, and, I did it without your help. And so it's a good driving force if you use it as that. And maybe that person didn't want to help you because they wanted you to have to figure it out by yourself. They wanted you to have to go through the process, the pain, whatever it may be, going through the struggle. That's one big thing, is nobody wants to deal with the struggle. Everybody wants to skip the struggle. And a lot of times, people can help you skip the struggle if they've been through what you're trying to do. But the reality is there's a lot of growth in struggle, and we need to embrace struggle. And that's where, a lot of the magic happens. One, we learn a lot about ourselves and what we can do in the struggle. Whenever the heat is on, the pressure's on, we're still able to execute. We're still able to think through this process and figure it out ourselves. So, sometimes it's just looking at it differently. Instead of, this person didn't help me, they're an asshole. Well, maybe they were helping you more by not helping you. And I know it's very hard to realize that in the moment, but, if they would have helped you out, gave you the answers to the test, help you get to that next obstacle or whatever you're trying to get to, but if they give you the answers to the test, you don't know how those answers were gotten. You don't know how they came to that conclusion. You didn't have to think through a process. You didn't have to, deal with pressure. Where, again, if they let you deal with that problem yourself and they don't help you, and it doesn't have to be a problem, But if they don't help you in whatever it is you're asking for help for, you're going to gain a lot more by doing it yourself. You're going to be more self-sufficient. You're going to be more fulfilled. And you're just going to feel good about yourself that you did it without the help of anybody. Which, again, help is great. I love helping people. I love people helping me. But there was, I tell this story many years ago, 7-8 years ago, when I was at rock bottom, and I was selling. I was going door to door, and I didn't have any money to go out to even put gas in my vehicle to go out and knock. And one of my mentors, the person I was working for at the time, I asked him for money, which I was wanting like a couple $100, couple $1,000, and really I was just going to screw it off. I wasn't even using it for what I needed it for, but I mean, I needed to pay bills, and I was just in a bad place. I wasn't going to pay my bills with it, and I think he knew that. And I had nothing to my name. I couldn't pay my bills, couldn't pay food on the table, nothing. And he gave me $40. He said, here's $40. That's enough to get gas in your tank to, go out and go sell, door to door. And I'll never forget that. And, a lot of people, they would say, well, that's screwed up. He's an asshole. But again, it's all how you look at things. And I am grateful for that, because I had to go through a struggle. I had to go through a hardship. I mean, I had to reach out to family members, just to be able to buy food. They would take me to the grocery store and buy me food just so I would have food to eat. They would, help me pay my bills, or I would be, late on my bills, and I would have to deal with, trying to get extensions. I had to deal with that hardship, but I learned I never wanted to be in that position again. And ever since then, I've never been in that position again, where if he would have just bailed me out and gave me a couple $100, couple $1,000, in reality, I wouldn't have used it for what I needed to use it for, but it wouldn't have taught me anything. He would have just bailed me out, enabled me. I wouldn't have learned anything from the process. I wouldn't have had to go through the hardships, the struggle. I wouldn't have learned anything from it. And that's one thing I am so grateful for, that he didn't help me out financially. He gave me advice on what I needed to do, and I started acting on that immediately, and I did that for months on end, turned into years and years and years on end. But after a few months, I started making money, and it was so much more gratifying going through that hardship for many months before, I got paid. And I respected that money a lot more. I was so grateful for it. I remember crying my first commission check and calling them when I got the estimate, and I was just so grateful. But so help is great, and if you can get help, it's amazing. But if people don't help you, you get a lot out of it, because you figure out how to do it yourself, and that's something that people can't teach you. You have to go through that struggle. You have to figure out the problems by yourself, and you're going to gain so much more from that. I know we want to resent the people that didn't help us, but in reality, if it's somebody that knows how all of this works, in reality, they may be trying to help you out by not helping you out. As hard as that can be to understand during that process. But so just remember, sometimes when people don't help you out, if you don't have any help, you're going to gain a lot more from that process. You're going to be able to figure it out yourself. You're going to go through the hardships. You're going to spend the money. You're going to make the mistakes. And that's going to teach you more than if somebody just, helped you through that process. But I hope y'all have a great day out there. Hope this helps somebody. Thank you.